particularly interested in it, but it was really interesting. We, for some reason, sat in the hooligan area, so we just had people with, like, I don't know, yeah, the guy over there was he was scary, but it was a really interesting thing.
The next thing we did was the Maracana Stadium, where, fun fact about it, it was built in 1950, and it held the title for the world's largest football stadium. It is now used for tourism and for matches that are played by Flamengo and Fluminense.
Yeah, and so, well, favelas are a pretty important part of this module because, honestly, it contributed a lot to football in Brazil. Some of the most prominent players like Pelé came from the favelas, and they shaped, so we studied like the style of football in Brazil, and the existence of favelas were really crucial to shaping the way football is played in this country. And so we thought it's probably relevant to visit favelas, and so we rode motorcycles for the favelas and just looked around. And it was huge, right? This was in Rio, this was in Rio Explorer. It was, yeah, it was pretty huge. It's pretty fun. The motorcycle, oh, it's so me. I'm freeballing this presentation, by the way, so excuse me, I'm stuttering. But anyways, you know, academics-wise, even the most fun modules have to have boring moments, and so obviously we had to learn academics. But basically, we touched upon two main parts. So the first one is on economics. So regarding economics, it's like supply versus demand, the way money flows around in football, marketing strategies, and so on. And then the other thing we learned about, which was highest classes, was the psychology of football. So for one, we studied like tribalism in football, and you know, there was an experiment that we studied about. It's called the Robert's Cave experiment, where basically this guy got a bunch of kids, grouped them into two groups, made them compete against each other, and then they ended up hating each other in the week. So it was a really interesting experiment, and I think it reflects on football as well. Yeah, those are just pictures from the Explore. Those were us touring. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Oh my gosh, I found it. Yes, so that, yeah, that's fun. Yeah.
Here are all the guest speakers we were able to interview. We had Antonio Pita, who founded Diaspora Black, which is basically to promote tourism and fight back against racism. We had Alanya, which was a former Brazilian goalkeeper, and he actually led the fight against racism in football. And lastly, we had Coach Osvaldo, who is a retired coach. He was able to train Gabriel Jesus and Marcelo Kaká and other famous players.
So, I want to take a moment and talk about Aranya. He was a former Brazilian goalkeeper. Yeah, Aranya, for those that don't speak Portuguese, it means spider, right? Yeah, so he was a really good goalkeeper, but you know, we had him over as a guest speaker because he had some really bad first-hand experiences with racism in football, and so you know, he's also currently an author. He wrote 2 books on addressing racism in Brazil and all that, so we thought that you know, we wanted him over, and he talked about his personal experiences, where you know, for example, like people call him I forgot the word, but it was monkey in Portuguese. Often it was a really discouraging thing. Also, like he was kicked out of clubs often in his early stages. So before he became famous, he was often kicked out of football clubs because of his skin color. And yet he's still in a lot of movements fighting to remove the racial injustice, not just in Brazil, but like in the world in general, because it still exists in not just football, but in also sports. But yeah, he was a really valuable guest speaker, and I really enjoyed his talks.
During the Explore, we were able to have Coach Osvaldo, as a guest speaker. He taught us about the strategic side of football and the perspective of a coach. He was able to train football teams in Brazil, Qatar, and Japan. And he actually taught us there was different play styles. For example, Brazil would have more individual skills. Japan had more organized, and Qatar was just Qatar. And he helped us with especially with our summatives, because he taught us about strategy, implementations in football.
Yeah, he also had the best food I've ever eaten. Anyways, yeah, so those are just like snippets of like summatives that students made. This one's like this guy, this one's like this one, and then who made that one? Emma. Where's Emma? Anyways, yeah, and then she made the one over there. But basically, if you visited our booth early on, you would know what they are. But essentially, we took elements in games and we took elements in football. So especially in particular the money transactions and basically implemented that into the games. So for example, like my game, which is not on there, but my game basically is like you're a club owner and you're trying to build up like a football club, and then you have various like obstacles and all that kind of stuff that you kind of go through in order to win the game.
Dia's game, her point was to basically create, it was like a board game kind of thing, and it was to create the strongest team and kick the other ones out. I'd actually like to talk about my game, where it's a risk cloud game, where you have to have the strongest club and defeat other clubs in matches. And we had special cards where it was famous for the Brazilian players. And
That's pretty much it. So thank you for listening. If you didn't visit our booth early on, then I don't know, you can find us later if you want to know more. But yeah, that's it for our module. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wonky and Kenzo, for sharing your learning with us. Next up will be Jesse and Callie, two students from my module, Narrative of Life, the actual best module. But before we welcome them onto the stage, let me introduce you to a bit of what our group did in the Troma, Brazil. So to start off, we built our knowledge around our driving question. How can we use multimedia literary pieces to tell the story of conservation of biodiversity in Brazil? In order to answer our driving question, we went on multiple amazing field experiences. We started off by getting the opportunity to speak with Eric, an owner of a very well-developed agroforestry project. Later on, we went to do a poetry workshop with Emily and Annalyn, as well as a vocal workshop in Yaga. Later that week, we went on a boat field excursion with local marine bioacoustic expert, Marcos Rossi. And followed by that was, of course, the highlight of our module, being to spend an amazing week in the Amazon, supported by Aaron and Marlene from IP Bio. Thank you so much to everyone who supported our process in figuring out an answer to our module-driven question. And at last, after all of those learning experiences, we were challenged to answer the driving question by creating either an individual or a group immersive multimedia literary piece. You may have seen some examples of those immersive pieces at our module booth, but in addition to that, we will have 3 immersive pieces presented on stage here at the presentation. Our first group of performers will be Jesse and Callie, supported by Tiamo. Let's give them a round of applause.
Hi everyone. So my name is Callie, that's Jesse, and today we wrote a song personifying nature as a woman who goes through multiple exploitative relationships. So each name of the song has, as you can see behind you, and we basically wrote this song with various different characters in order to spread awareness about the dangers of the human impacts on nature and to advocate for conservation. So we hope you enjoy.
we have a personal project presentation. So personal projects here at TGS are interest-led, self-driven, and designed projects that all students start in their second term. As per tradition, the first batch of students has many ideas, and notably for this term, a lot of them are music, and music. So with that being said, please put your hands together and give a warm welcome to Bia in her first ever personal project, Musica.
Hi again, good afternoon, I'm Bia. I'm a 10th grader, and today I'm going to be presenting my first ever personal project. When I first started brainstorming what my personal project would be, I had a lot of ideas, but I wanted to do something meaningful and that resonated with me, and that would actually learn something out of my home country. It was very hard to brainstorm something, as I only had 5 weeks of a project, and I wanted to gain out of this. So I realized, looked back in my life, and I realized that one of my greatest passions in life is Brazilian music. I loved it ever since I was a young kid, and it's one of the things I most adore. So instead of staying in my comfort zone and doing something easily that I already knew, I was like, what can I push beyond what I already know to learn out of this experience and blend my knowledge of Brazilian music with something else? So then I thought about another skill that I've always been curious to learn, filmmaking. So that's when I decided to blend filmmaking with Brazilian music. That led me to coming up with my driving question. In what ways does music impact and highlight Salvador's cultural diversity, and how can I create a short musical video to portray this? In simple words, how can I blend filmmaking with Brazilian music? One of my first steps in this project was learning. I needed to research what I was about to talk about before actually doing it. So I researched a bit about the background and history of Brazilian music, what originated it, some of the genres, and what led to the creation of them. That things led me to the conclusion of Brazilian music is just a big blend of different cultures of African, indigenous, and European backgrounds. That step was very important in my project, as I needed to have this knowledge to create a video that was accurate and respectful to my culture. My second step was to get a bit creative. I created a mood board that included color palettes, that included aesthetics that I was going for in my video. That helped me to keep track of the visuals that I was going to in the video, and actually learn how to do this as well, but also just remind myself of what I was going for when recording the clips. The third step was to list and to learn. I needed to learn something out of it, so I decided to learn different filmmaking skills that I could apply into this project. I started by listing 6 filmmaking skills that I would try to blend into my project. So when you see the final product, you can watch on and maybe see one of those. But those filmmaking skills, I listed to learn more about them and to actually extend my knowledge on filmmaking. And the last step was to write a script. This script narrates what I'm going for in my video. It's basically just a description of what I'm doing because it's necessary to have planning before actually doing something. The script, I also left some room for unplanned, purposeful, unplanned situations because as my goal was to show the organic connection between Brazilian music and culture, I needed some space for new stuff and unplanned stuff. So instead of me going on about my project, I'm going to actually show you because I think it's better to visualize rather than just hear me speak. So this is my final project. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it.
1 second to connect to the speaker. Yeah.
Salvador. Uma palavra, carnaval, você. E uma música que te lembra Salvador. Já pensei pra ela. Uma palavra que te lembra Salvador. Me lembra Salvador. É liberdade, a paz, praia, a maravilha. Que eu amo que te lembra Salvador. Aquela África e eu. Uma palavra que te lembra Salvador. Uma palavra que me lembra Salvador. Caetano Veloso. E uma música. Ai, tantas. Eu vou avisar minha piranha. Brincar de comer. Quem me chamou vai me voltar.
Hi everyone, welcome to our Brazil term showcase. My name is Sandy and I'm in grade 11, and this term I was part of the Narrative of Life module, which is the Amazon module, by the way. And today I will be presenting to you my speech on conservation inspired by Martin Luther King Jr. I Have a Dream. Don't play yet. From the very beginning of time, life on planet Earth has evolved from a singular cell to flourish as the wildlife it is now. Lakes are now not only filled with just unicellular organisms, but are composed of rich, diverse wildlife. Please close your eyes and feel the thick air, the scent of damp earth, the expanse of green, and the call of nature. This is the lungs of the earth, also known as the Amazon rainforest. The air feels alive, dense, with the pulse of countless creatures, howler monkeys calling from the treetops, jaguars prowling silently below, and insects buzzing through the shadows. In the heart of this lush, mysterious world, sunlight filters through the thick foliage, casting dappled shadows on the forest floor, where ferns and flowers bloom in wild, unrestrained beauty. It is a place where every sound and breath seems to carry the heartbeat of the earth itself. the Amazon rainforest alone is home to an estimated 10% of the world's species and is considered one of the most diverse and rich biomes in the world. Now, open your eyes. Along with the growth of wildlife, humans have also evolved and developed. From hunting as cavemen with simple stone tools to creating spaceships that have landed on the moon. Humanity has progressed a long way since its beginnings. However, it seems that the development of human civilization has acted as an opposition to the richness of wildlife. And with this, I have a vision, a dream. Let your eyes close and let this dream take you on an experience. I have a vision that one day the endless green canopy of the Amazon will stretch far and wide, untouched by a chainsaw, unscarred by fires. I have a vision that the rivers winding through the heart of the forest will continue to flow freely, nourishing all life that depends on them. I have a vision that the indigenous communities will gain the support and respect they deserve, standing together with the rest of humanity to protect what has been entrusted to them. I have a vision that governments, corporations, and individuals alike will come together not in division but in unity to ensure that the rich biodiversity of the Amazon is cherished, preserved, and respected as our shared heritage. But I also have a dream where we no longer need to speak of saving the Amazon as if it is still a fight to be won. For in that dream, we have already made the decision to protect it. The world has embraced sustainable development, and the Amazon is no longer under siege. We have invested in the future of our planet, recognizing that its health is our health. Take this moment of silence to share my vision. Now it is time to rise from our slumber, and let that not be just a weird dream, but a reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy, for presenting such a beautiful project. So now you saw what modules and personal projects look like. But sometimes during TGS, someone gets so passionate about a term-long personal project that they decide to do a year-long project. Those are called mastery projects. Our next presenter, growing up in landlocked cities and nowhere near the ocean, somehow still managed to love the sea. So welcome on stage, Liam and his mastery project, Whale Talk.
Alright, hello everyone. My name is Liam Fossey. I am French and Romanian, and this is my mastery project. Welcome to Whale Talk. So, firstly, what is my project? Whale Talk focuses on exploring the fascinating world of marine life, as well as exploring many different topics like coding, bioacoustics, data processing, and marine mammalogy. One of the key aspects of my project is the use of technology, such as a hydrophone, which in more simple terms is a small underwater microphone. I'll also delve into the technical aspects of coding and data processing and engage myself in on-field research and experiences to better understand the study of marine mammals, bioacoustics, and data analysis. The blend and combination between my fieldwork and my research provides me with a comprehensive approach and a better understanding of the marine life around us. My driving question: how might I develop my understanding of marine communication through the use of coding as well as bioacoustics in the form of a fully functional communication/hydrophone device? This question drives both my passion and my learning throughout this project. What are my goals and my future for Whale Talk? Firstly, I want to conduct marine mammal data collection. I want to specifically focus more on whales, as it is what I'm doing for my project. Unfortunately, based off the last two terms, I've only been able to focus on the dolphins. The dolphins here that you can find in Salvador, which are the Guyana dolphins. I would also like to start building my hydrophone with all of its tech aspects, which is a camera, a Raspberry Pi small computer, a speaker that can go underwater, as well as a self-built hydrophone. Then I would like to code my hydrophone so all these tech aspects can work together into an input/output device. And in coding, there's a language that we use, which is called pseudocode, which is like the English version of coding. And so basically, what my hydrophone will do is, when you hear this, do that. Then I would like to start analyzing marine bioacoustic data with the help of programs and algorithms that you can find online to make audios more clear and make them scientific grade for scientists or researchers to use them in projects for the government or around the world. Then I would like to use my finished hydrophone device that works fully well and automated in Whale territory to see if it actually works and understand how it benefits the scientific community. Now we'll be looking at the hands-on experiences and research I've done for this project. In Vancouver, where we were last term, I did not have access to a hydrophone, but I still went whale watching, where I explored the use of AI technology in identifying the unique genetic patterns of a whale that we can see on the top of their fluke, which is the tail of the whale. This helps us understand their migration, breeding, and feeding patterns. I also took an 8-hour-long bioacoustic course over break to understand the introduction to bioacoustics, as well as how machine learning plays a part in better understanding marine life. Then I made a big proposal for a boat excursion with a wonderful mentor that you can find here today. His name is Marcus Rossi. He is a university teacher here in Brazil, and he gave us many different insights on how to conduct ethical scientific investigations with the use of bioacoustics, as well as what are marine mammals and how to understand them. He also told us a lot about his projects that he's done with students for some environmental impact assessments that he's conducted for the government here in Salvador. And 3 things I learned from this excursion is, first of all, how to not hurt the whales or the dolphins when trying to learn about them. Second of all, what are whales and dolphins? Because they're way more than just what we see on the outside. And third of all, when you really want something, you have to go for it, even if you're selling yourself for it. Then we went to the Amazon River, where I was fortunate enough to see the 2 different types of freshwater dolphins, which are the pink river dolphin and the gray river dolphin. But I wasn't able to hear the pink river dolphin, but I do have recordings of the gray river dolphin as they were in an intersection between the Amazon River and a canal, and that's where fish are the easiest to catch. So here's the recording. It might not sound what you expect it to sound like, but
if they come together and collaborate, there are changes that they can actually create, which will be sustained for a longer time. So please join us. Thank you.
Okay, so I think something really heavy fell when instructions were given, but if you could all please stand up and find yourself a partner. Can you and your partner decide who wants to be the man and who wants to be the woman? Okay. Has everyone made decisions? I hope so. Okay, Maya has been my dance teacher for this term. Thank you, Maya. So she will also be yours for this strong event. It's difficult.
Okay, hi everyone. Just wanted to first start out saying, so we're going to do the cha-cha, just the basic step of the cha-cha. First, obviously, man, woman, it's very outdated, but it's kind of what we have, so we have a masculine role and a feminine role. So for the female person, as maybe will be the female person, maybe we'll show you how to do the frame as a female. So, yeah. So, if you are the female, please, you can turn. Okay. One hand on the shoulder of the man, and then the other one is going to hold the hand of the man. And the man is going to have their arm on the torso of the female. If everyone can just look, they can see this is the correct position. Okay, so now the basic step is going to sound like 1, 2, cha-cha-cha, 1, 2, cha-cha-cha. So basically, if everyone could just look for 1 minute, you go, so the female's going to go back 1, 2, and then side to side. And then you go, the female will go forward, 1, 2, side to side. And then back. So if we can count, it's just 1, 2, cha-cha-cha.
Okay, everyone, if you want the rhythm of the song, let's try all together with counting 1, 2, cha-cha-cha, and see if we can actually do this in a way that's synchronized. Let's try. Can everyone find your partner? And the woman is going to step backwards and man forwards first. So, here we go. 1, 2, cha-cha-cha. 1, 2, cha-cha-cha. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Liam, for presenting your mastery project, and thank you, Aryan, Mabel, and Maya for dedicating your time to creating such a beautiful piece. And with that, we complete the presentation from Module 2, Narrative of Life. Thank you so much to everyone who shared your process with us. We really appreciate it. casual in presentation. Salvador is known for being the capital of Afro-Brazilian culture, with that also the birthplace of capoeira, a form of Brazilian martial arts. Our next group of students from the capoeira module represent their learning process with a short performance of a choreography they created. A round of applause for Oliver, Joseph, Siamo, Ben, and Chema.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Chema from Mexico, and I am so pleased to present to you the actual coolest and better of all modules in this country, capoeira. So, as you heard from our lovely MCs, capoeira is a martial art that was conceived in Africa and born here in Brazil. During the colonial times, it was highly restricted by the government and it was harshly punished. After Brazil got its independence, capoeira was still illegal and only got legalized until 1940. Curious enough, it was in 1932 when the first capoeira school was opened by Mestre Bimba, a mestre that not only helped to legalize capoeira, but also rescued his legacy from getting forgotten. With the passing of time, capoeira became the martial art that we all know and love nowadays. It has spread all throughout the world and is not only practiced here. And it has shown no sign of slowing down. So, yeah.
So, I want to just highlight basically what we did in this module to learn about capoeira. So, every week we took capoeira lessons and learned how to play capoeira, as well as how to play our barimbau. We took lessons in two different styles, both regional and Angola. Regional being a more upright, formal style from Mestre Bimba, and Angola being a more low to the ground, slower, almost grappling-like style. We also went to a capoeira camp for 4 days, where we learned from Mestre Camisa, one of the best capoeira players on earth today. We took part in classes over 4 days, 4 times every day, and it was a truly wonderful experience.
Let's talk about Avada. So that's our lovely family, our capoeira family. We had the opportunity to go to Avada. Avada is one of the most recognized capoeira institutions in the world. As a matter of fact, it was established in 1988, and now has more than 70,000 members worldwide. We had the opportunity to learn from the founder of Avada, Capoeira, Mestre Camisa, and learn from some of the top experts we met. Each of us have a personal teacher. We had the opportunity to learn samba, makulele, capoeira techniques, and instrument making and instrument development. So yes, we became musicians, we became sport people, and we became capoeiristas.
For our summative, we were tasked to choreograph our own piece incorporating the different capoeira styles that we've learned. So the way we wanted to picture this out is basically starting off with capoeira Angola, the oldest form of capoeira, and then moving slowly into capoeira regional capoeira, and incorporating contemporary capoeira throughout the whole piece. It was a hefty task to complete, considering the fact that we have people of different backgrounds, some experienced in ballet, gymnastics, some even in horse riding. So trying to incorporate all of that into our piece was quite difficult, but creativity, collaboration, and communication were 3 different aspects that we tried to incorporate, struggled a bit with, but
watching and being here. We also want to give special thanks to our teachers, Mr. Camisa, Mr. Laurent Rasta, who taught us how to make our garabaos. He was amazing. And we also want to give special thanks to Ms. Branda Moema, who gave us weekly lessons and taught us most of what we know. So thank you guys.
There you have it. M3, M2, and M1, all modules from this Brazilian term. Well, I'm back on stage, but unfortunately this will be short-lived as I need to introduce you all to a very certain individual. That person has been the drive and making the decisions behind how the school has been ran for the past year. Ladies and gentlemen, the head of school, Andy Wood.
Well, congratulations everybody. Let's give a big round of applause to all our students. And thank you so much for joining us, parents and all Beer's friends and relations. Thank you so much for being a one-person crowd. We really appreciate you being here. At Think Global School, we inspire individuals, and we do that by providing inspiring learning experiences. I remember biology was one of my favorite subjects at school, and I learned it through a textbook. I copied the textbook into my notebook, and I remembered everything in the notebook for the test on Friday. And here you've seen students going down the Amazon River. You've heard Liam's extraordinary story of his passion for scientific research in Wales and the opportunities that he's had to learn there. And thank you for sharing your passion with us. And thank you for just mentoring him. And for each student here, there are those inspiring teachers with whom they've connected, and each student can tell a similar story. We're here to learn about Brazil, from Brazil, and in Brazil. We do that in every country. And in the course of that, we learn so much about worldviews, perspectives, culture, history, art. There's just so much learning that happens. And it's often in those little in-between spaces, the unscripted moments, that we really have the richest learning taking place. And we have loved being in Salvador. We've loved learning just in this extraordinary place. And I just really appreciated the richness and depth and vibrancy of the culture that is here in Brazil. I really want to thank our educators who create these learning opportunities. If you think of a traditional school, it's a safe living curriculum. You know what you're teaching in September, October, November, there's a big exam in December, and there's a predictability to it. Our educators have to design these every term. They've already designed the Vietnam term. Italy's in place, they're putting in Botswana. And the amount of planning and foresight that's required, and flexibility on the ground. Things happen. Great guest speakers suddenly emerge, and you think, wow, hang on, here's an opportunity to take 2 students on a boat out in Salvador and spend the night sleeping out there, because it's just an extraordinary learning experience. So thank you to our educators who make those incredible learning opportunities possible. And then thank you to the new parents, particularly those of you who are watching from home. We wish you could be here with us. We've loved being able to share something about TGS joyful learning and their love of learning that was part of just the life and educational journey of our students. And how do we know it's an extraordinary education? Because you can see from this, they're loving their learning. They're really enjoying it. And that's at the crucible, that's at the heart. That's where great learning happens. Thank you for joining us, everybody.
Thank you again, Andy and all the staff for such a fantastic tour. Also, thank you to every single student for not only creating project, but also creating those wonderful memories with each other. Don't forget about the QR code on the screen. It's very helpful for us to hear feedback from you. So if you have anything you want to say, please scan it, and it's really helpful for us to hear about it.
With that being said, thank you all very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us this evening. Thank you all students for being here, and we'll see you all in our next showcase in Vietnam in March of 2025.
There's a phone here, so I don't know whose it is, but if it's yours, Oh, yours? Okay.